district governor. Special introduction for Ellen before she speaks. I got to tell you, when district governors come here, they get roasted. Be prepared.
Especially if you're going to do it.
Well, I'm going to give the first happy dollar to Ellen. We appreciate you being here so much.
Well, thank you.
And Chris, you also.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate it.
Let's have you. What other happy dollar? I know Mary has one to do, but Doug goes first.
Had another very, very successful comeback with her this weekend. Had record number of votes, did more than ever. Gave out over $400,000 in prize money. And gave out big check ever, about $133,000.
Wow.
Second place, but he was involved in this thing. So people are busy.
I really like this one.
Yeah,
I like that.
a lot of people do.
Yeah. Okay, Mary.
This one says we had a wonderful trip to Portugal. It was great to be away and wonderful to be back.
It's great to take you back. Who else? Okay, Dave.
I got a happy dollar. My impulsive son-in-law called me last week. He said, "Hey, let's go out next weekend to Fort Collins, homecoming in Colorado State." All right, okay. Made reservations, everything. He says, "By the way, they're having a big fraternity party there to tailgate before the game. It'll be 60 plus years since I've been to a fraternity party. I'll tell you about it next week when we get back." If I can remember.
Who else?
I do.
Okay, Ellen.
Yes, I'm giving $1 today for being able to visit the club.
Thank you so much. Chris?
Arlene, I'm
Yes.
gonna have to owe you.
Oh, that's all right. It's double.
If you'll invoice me for it, okay?
I'll do that.
Well, the first happy dollar is to say thank you for hosting us and being, allowing us to be here. We always appreciate being here, and I know having the governor here in the house today is a special time for us. Just got back from the zone conference. That was an incredible experience. I will share some of the photographs that I took, and I represented District 7730 as the official photographer for the zone conference down in Naples, Florida. So most of the images that you see were taken by yours truly. So we were well represented down there. And a big thanks to a good friend, Sean Paul's doing down there. You guys have an awesome club, and I appreciate all the work that you guys do. You guys are definitely engaged. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's one of them. Peter, I owe you one.
Did you do two?
I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna do 5, but I need to send it to him. Thank you.
That's okay. I'll do it. You can do it.
Oh, that ain't good.
One announcement, masks are optional now.
Yes.
Yeah. Things seem to be getting better. So at the church COVID meeting last night, they decided that mask would be optional.
Here's Chris's money.
Thank you, Peter.
He does not realize the debt he owes.
You could triple that, Ellen.
I could, but all I've got is ones left and it won't make it.
Huh? Okay, what's your happy dollars?
Well, I'm just happy that we had so many people show up today in person with
Yes.
Ellen coming, and I'm very appreciative to Ellen actually coming and visiting with us and sharing what she has planned this year. And so those are my 5. Very happy. All right. I'm only going to make a couple comments. If you did not get your folder with the fruit sale forms, please let me know. I have them up here. We're taking orders now, and it's on the same schedule as usual. They'll come out about the holidays. So you need to sell that fruit. That's our big fundraiser this year, thanks to COVID. And then I do have an announcement to make, and has to do with our Paul Harris donations that come on our quarterly invoices. Because the amount to qualify for grants was increased, we had to increase that portion. And what the board decided after lots and lots and lots of back and forth, we're gonna raise the quarterly dues to 34 for the Paul Harris contribution. If you wanted to do a different amount, you're welcome to do Rotary Direct, and we won't bill you for that. You can just pay direct. If you need to know how to do that, you're welcome to do it. We can show you how. Now, does anybody have any other business you want to discuss right now? Oh, yep.
Matthews Ministries, food delivery to Southport Elementary is rolling right along. And we've got 3 spots left to finish off the year. And anybody interested, work something out.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other business we need to talk about? Okay. All right. So I'm cutting my part short because Dave is going to go ahead and introduce Ellen since he plans to roast her. We don't want to cut her time short. He's got to swallow
nice,
first
Dave.
though.
So it's time. huh?
It's time.
Go ahead and continue to eat.
Yeah. I figured you're going to talk.
Oh, no. I'm gonna give her a couple of minutes to finish eating. No, okay.
I'll be
Our district governor, we're really glad to have you here today. Ellen Deaton and I go way back. I think she was president of the Charlotte Club the same year I was president of this club. And over the years, we've attended a lot of district meetings and zone meetings and had a lot of talks and just done a lot of things together. She's a great pick for district governor. And one of the things that has always irritated everybody in Brunswick County is that we never had a district governor from Brunswick County. The Big Wilmington Club was the first club in the district. And for years, all the district governors came from the Wilmington area and then later up the coast to Jacksonville. But we never had a district governor from Brunswick County, excuse me. So now, but there's been, Brunswick County was just kind of down here, they forgot about us. But over the years, they had a lot of people that interviewed for the district governor job but didn't get it. A lot of people you would know, including me as one of them.
Well, Dave, I'd be glad to share it with you.
That's all right. So when they pick a district governor, after the committee makes his pick, they send out an email to every member in the district as who it is. So I get this email that Ellen Deaton is now a district governor, at least in the future. I thought, wow, we finally got a district governor from Brunswick County. Almost. Now, let me tell you the rest of it. So first I thought, I'll call Ellen right now and congratulate her. So I went to the district website and went to the Charlotte Club to look up Ellen's name and phone number, and she wasn't there. Hey, where'd she go? She's not in the Charlotte Club anymore. So there's another search thing where you can find anybody in the district, whether you use just the first name or last name or whatever you know. So I put Ellen's name in there, popped up. She's in the Maysville Club. Now Maysville, does anybody know where Maysville is? Yeah, if Chris does, he's probably been there, but did you know where it was before you went there? So I got Ellen's number and I called her up. I said, what are you doing in the Maysville Club? And she says, well, when I retired, I moved back to my hometown, which is Newbern.
Oh,
Now, Newbern is not even in the district. But she cheated and she comes down over the Trent River to join the Maysville Club, which I think at the time had, what, 7 or 8 members?
I was number 6.
You were number 6?
But I checked this week, you're up to 18 members
Oh,
now.
yes.
You've done a good job there.
Thank you.
So in order to get a district governor from Brunswick County, the committee had to convince her to move out of the district and then drive back in to join the club up in Maysville. But Ellen was willing to do it. So thank goodness we got Ellen, and the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Please come back and get food.
Yeah, I thought I was home clear about living in Newbern, but I got a little phone call from someone a little higher up than me that said, you cannot live in Newbern and join a club there and still be a governor in 7730. I thought, well, what's the closest one I can get to? So that's what I did, but it's not really been bad because I'm in the club with Nancy Barbie. Some people refer to it as Nancy Barbie's club. So, you know, I'll be somewhere and they'll say, and what club are you in? I'll say, I'm in Maysville Club. And they'll say, oh, you're in Nancy Barbie's club. So, yep, I joined Nancy's club. So, but, you know, I'm so excited because I still consider myself part of Area 4. I mean, I was here for 12 years. So even though I'm up in Area 2 now, my heart is still in Area 4. And because I have a lot of friends down here and I really miss them. But, you know, I'm so excited to be here today to get a chance to meet you and work with you. You know, unfortunately, last year I didn't get to travel and go around and just introduce myself to the clubs and get a feel for what the clubs do. But, you know, it didn't work out. And so I'm just going in there cold this year. But I want you to know that every club in the district means something to me. I'm so excited about the things I find out the clubs do and the people that are in the club. Because, you know, to be a Rotarian, you have to have a Rotarian heart. And that's the heart that gives you the ideas to go out and help your community and help each other and be there. You know, so I'm happy, really happy about that. When President Shaker Mehta came in as the president of Rotary International, he comes in with his little notebook, with his little ideas of what he wants to happen in his year. So the first one up there, can you guess what it is? Membership. You know, and every time I have to start and talk to people, as soon as they hear the word membership, it's like, I've lost everybody. You know, because membership is hard. It's really hard. You know, it was a struggle for us to get from 6 members up to 17. And, you know, I hope we keep going and really become a little bit larger, but we're fine where we are. So his first objective is each one bring one. And he came up with that idea because he is going to increase Rotary International's membership from 1.2 million to 1.3 by June 30th, 2022. So in order to do that, yes, we are going to have to do a lot of each one bringing one. But, you know, I'm sure some of you have had questions, you know, like, well, where do you go every Wednesday? And what are you doing at the church? What's going on? And you can say, well, why don't you come with me? And I can show you. You know, there was a club that I was in that, you know, had this great big fundraiser in January, had a lot of sponsors. So they, in turn, about April, would have a luncheon just strictly for the sponsors. And the sponsors would come in and nothing was mentioned about membership. Instead, what the club decided to do was bring the sponsors in, show them what their donations had done in our community. And, you know, it was such a positive experience because most people knew, well, I've just given you $500 to be a platinum sponsor, but, you know, they didn't know where that money went. They knew it came to us or came to the club for it to be used for outreach and so forth in the community, but they didn't know what was in the community. So we they would have about 4 or 5 speakers there, and they would actually get up and show them pictures and tell them about what their sponsorships has done. And, you know, every year we get a couple of sponsors that would want to join the club because they would say, you know, if my little amount of money could get you to this level, I want to be a part of it and help you more. So each one bring one is his mantra, and that's what he's going with. So he wants to make this one of our best years. And if we use the each one bring one and introduce just one person to Rotary, our membership can grow to the 1.3 million. And you know what you can do with your club now. You know, what if you had more? Busy hands make light work. So just think about that. But he has developed a society for membership awards. So he has a bronze, a silver, a gold, and a platinum. So let me just tell you about those. If an individual, these are for individuals, if an individual brings in 75 new members, they will reach a platinum level. And I promise you, I can promise this, if you all have one person that brings in 75 members, we will have a party like they have never seen.
That's more than the population of Maysville.
You know, we're having to branch out. We've got international members now. You know, we had to do something. So, but if you get 25, you reach the bronze level, and we'll still have a party. So, you know, I sat there and I looked at these and I thought, how are we going to do this? And then I remembered, you know, in Asia and India, they'll just go down to a village and say, okay, this group is coming to Rotary today, and they bring them in and sign them up. So that's how they do it. And, you know, the people stay because it's in their nature to do for others. So the other thing that he talked about was empowering girls and young women. And, you know, even in today's age, girls and young women still meet unfair challenges in their lives. They don't have access to education, employment, healthcare, and equality in their walks of lives. So what I'm saying to you is that when you have a service project that you're working on, I know you have an Interact Club, where there's one here. Invite them to help you, because in most Interact clubs, and guys, I hate to say this, but in most Interact clubs, there's more girls than there are men. So, but that's because those men have never been married and don't have anybody behind them to guide them. So I just wanted to throw that out. So anyway, use those girls, bring them in, let them do something, give them a feeling of mattering, you know, other than what they have at school. So our girls are our future leaders also. So we want to keep that in mind. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the foundation. And I heard what you said and made me feel bad, but you know, last year they did reach a decision to raise the annual per capita to qualify for a grant to $125. And It's been a struggle for some people, but you know, you can go out and do a little fundraiser, pop that money in, and it'll just jump it right on up. So just keep that in mind. But did you know that for 60 cents, it only takes 60 cents to vaccinate a child against polio? I had no idea it was that inexpensive. But for $50, the foundation can provide clean water for waterborne illnesses. And for $500, they can launch an anti-bullying campaign and create a safe environment for our kids. You know, it's so sad. We have a club that's formed called Ending Child Abuse. And this is our clubs now, some of them that are forming are cause-based clubs. In other words, the people want to be part of Rotary, but they want to do things that they're passionate about, that have always meant so much to them. So in the End Child Abuse, there are social workers and different people, police officers that have to answer the calls for the child abuse. So there's one called Ending Child Abuse. And that's what they do, because child abuse is important to them. It's built into their DNA, and that's what they want to do. So they only meet by Zoom because they've got people all over the United States and some overseas that have hooked onto this because it's what they want. It's their baby. And so the other cause-based one we have right now is the Friendship Knot. And that's Boys and Girl Scouts. And they are all over the world. And they in turn too get together in certain locations and even have areas, this area is doing something, this area over here and so forth, to do things that help better the kids that are in scouting with new ideas to help them grow into more substantial adults. And that's not saying, no, please don't go tell, well, you know, she said those are kids, they're just not substantial. Please let's don't, that's not what I meant. We want to give them every opportunity we can to have them become the best person that they can be. So I have 49 clubs and 1,733 members. I've got 2 clubs that are on the verge of forming now. One of them is REACT, which Chris is working on. And what that is it's an environmental club. It is based on the 7th Avenue, the 2nd Avenue of focus, which is environment. So that's their mantra. They're going to go out and look for things to help improve the environment. You know, clean up a beach, clean up a park. You know, that is what they're going to be doing. So the other thing is I have a Peace Fellow group. And all of these are graduates from the Peace colleges. And they too are spread all over the world. So the only way they can meet is by Zoom. And you know, when they graduate or when they come to the Peace College, they've already graduated from college, but they have one thing that they're interested in for their countries. You know, it may be sanitation, it may be violence, it may be water, anything like that. So they in turn come together and bring all of their interests together and work on solutions in all of the countries that are involved. So that's going to be the 2nd club this year. So, you know, we're real excited. We got 2 last year. We're going to get 2 this year. So it really speaks well for our district that we have people that are coming together to do more for people. I did not raise the goals for giving this year. I kept them where they were last year because, you know, people have lost their businesses. People have lost their jobs. And money is certainly a deciding factor in being in Rotary, because there are things that we do pay for. But the thing is I left the average per capita per person to $100 for the foundation and $50 for polio. Now, this is just for the individual. When a club gets to that level, then they still need to be at 125 per capita in order to qualify for a district grant. So that's what I decided to do. I felt like it was the best thing to do, you know, because I really think that we can beat $284,000, you know, because Dawn's year was right in the middle of the worst part of COVID. And the club still came together and still did for the Rotary Foundation in the amount of $284,000 for the annual fund. Now, the good thing about that is anything that goes into the annual fund in 3 years comes back to the district for district grants. So whoever's the district, we haven't picked that governor yet, but we will this November. That governor will have $142,000 in her budget or his budget. And so that person will really be able to do a lot for the clubs then. Mine was not so thrifty. And so I struggled to take a little from this one and put over here, a little from that one and put over here to help people and help the district accomplish things that they need to do. And so it's a difficult balancing act. You know, people think that when you're a district governor, all you do is go around and visit and eat. That is not true. I can tell you. You know, you can't imagine. I was on the phone for 4 hours this morning driving down. Started before I left and was on here while I was driving. It's just amazing. You know, I even get calls at 11:30 at night, and I'm sort of going, 11:30? What time are you going to go to bed? So, but it is. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I wouldn't trade it because I've met wonderful people like you. I mean, it's so heartwarming to me to see people that have the same vision of Rotary that I do. Because, you know, I still remember, you know, I was told by my company to join. I said, okay, we'll pay for it, you go. I said, no problem. And I went, and I just went every week for the meetings, you know, and was just a rhino, as somebody said one time, a Rotarian in name only. So at Christmas, we had our first big event. And we rented an auditorium at the college, and we had a movie for kids, a Christmas movie. So they could come in and watch it, you know, and when they came out, there was Santa Claus. Santa Claus was sitting by a tree. He had gifts all over everywhere over here. And, you know, there was one little boy that came out and he stood there and he just started sobbing. And I went over to him and I asked him, I said, sweetie, what's wrong? And he said, Mommy said Santa wasn't coming this year. I said, well, he's not going to come on Christmas, but he came early so we could make sure we got everybody. And he just cried and cried because he was so excited. And that was it. I thought, I don't care whether you pay for me to go, whether you give me time off to go, or whatever it's going to take. All it was that one child. You know, and everybody has their Rotary moments. And so, you know, I'm so excited when I go out and visit a club and I get their brag sheet and see everything that they've accomplished. But, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. You're a great club. I mean, you know, I can tell you that right now you have set a goal, and I cannot begin to tell you what a great job that is for you to do. Because I have about 17 clubs out of the 49 in the district that have not set goals. And I can't respond to Rotary International until I have goals set. But you all have a goal set. I'm so excited for that. So far towards your goal, you've donated $125. That's great. You know, because it's still early, you still have plenty of time. And I see you sort of frown a little bit, and there may be more, but the thing is that, you know, they're still working from home. And so there's delays in everything that we get out there. So just be patient. So just keep working on it. Keep doing what you're doing. So let me tell you a little about some other things. Ann Grossman, who's in the other Southport Club, is our district polio chair this year. How are you? She's gonna have you working.
If we get through it first.
Yeah, but he lives with her.
Point.
So anyway, she is working on something for Polio Plus. If any of you remember Vanessa Irvin, many years back, she had a contest that you got a Polio Plus pin whenever you donated X amount of money to Polio Plus. So Vanessa's not completed it yet, but she's working on what she's going to do. On September the 12th, we had a Rise Against Hunger here. And we packed 20,000 meals. We're going to have another Rise Against Hunger, and that's going to be in Elizabethtown, another 20,000 meals. All of these meals are going to Haiti. World Polio Day is October the 24th, which is a Sunday. And if your club is looking for ideas about things to do, if you go to rotary.org, they have some kits and some ideas about what to do for World Polio Day. Now, March 8th is World Women's Day. President Shaker has issued that, but he has not given us any idea of what he wants to take place. So that's going to be March the 8th, 2022. And now the worst part of what I have to talk about. Nothing you've done wrong, nothing. But if any of you were going to see President Shaker in River Landing, you know by now that he's not going to be there. There were some unforeseen developments at Rotary headquarters, and he had to pull out. But he is coming. We just don't know when. So once we find out the new date, we'll send out the notice and move your money from the 17th of November over to whatever day he's coming. And I can tell you, I did so good. I had everything taken care of. I had the food, the venue, everything. And, and I had us a great meal plan. We were going to have prime rib, chicken, fish, pork, and a variety of vegetables. And so I was talking to somebody about what we were going to have, and they said, well, that's not going to work. I said, well, what do you mean it's not going to work? They said, well, President Shaker's a vegetarian. I said, well, he can eat the vegetables. We'll eat the meat. So you have to ad lib sometimes. Okay. On your brag sheet, y'all got a great brag sheet. I'm thinking about sending it to other people, so when I get their brag sheets, it sounds as good as this one does. You all work together with the other Southport Club. You work together with all 5 of the clubs in the area. I mean, what a great feeling of community. How else can you be together and do things? Because all Rotarians are alike or have their same heart feelings. You do a lot of service, multiple service clubs, the Art Council, the Oak Island Water Rescue, the Jack Helbig, is that it? Foundation, what is that?
Josh the Otter. They had a son pass away. He drowned. And so they go around teaching water safety.
Do they have a Josh the Otter concert costume?
Yes.
I was Josh the Otter in the Bahamas. I got to tell you, here we are down there in 80+ weather. And I'm inside that little Josh costume. My hair, the water's just dripping off my hair. And every child in there had to come up and hug me. And I think they bust some in because there must have been 100 of them. And I'm standing there going. I mean, you know, they wanted me to pick them up. They wanted to hug my neck. I leaned over to hug my neck, you know. I mean, so I was busy working and sweating more. And when we finally finished and I got in there, could take that suit out, all my clothes were wet. My hair was just, and I said, you know, I look terrible, but it was fun. You know, those little kids thought it was the greatest thing. You know, they'd been hearing about Josh the Otter because we'd sent them the books, but they actually got to see Josh the Otter. It's fun. It really is fun. New Hope Clinic, of course, Hope Harbor, and Brunswick Partnership for Housing. All great projects. Matthew's Ministry. You didn't put that on here. Okay. That wasn't my fault. I didn't skip over it. You can blame your president.
At least you got a fraction.
That's right. You should see some I get. I'm trying to figure out, well, you know, I know there's a president there, but you know, but things that you want to work on is your continued membership growth. You know, we've talked about that. There's not a whole lot more I can say about it. And embracing committee structure. You know, it is so great to have a committee to handle this or this or this, because if you've only got one person, what happens if that person gets sick? You have nobody to continue to work on your project, and all your projects are important. No matter how big or how small, every project is important. So you've applied for a DEI grant. I think that's your DEI man right there. You could squeeze him a little for the money.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, you know, we've got DEI grants that you gave out last year. And we've got this year as well. So I'm sure they'll be notifying people soon, right?
12. Especially the 12 when they make the decision.
Okay, good. So Rick Pierce. Where's Rick Pierce?
He's not here.
He's not here.
Okay. So then we've got this underhanded man that does handwriting analysis. So I just ask you, you know, you all know him, he's in your club. Would you really let him analyze your handwriting?
Already have, they just don't know it.
But he presented it one day and we all going, I don't know right anymore.
He did do a great job, though.
He does.
He did a great job at that program.
Yes, and he's fooled you too. He just sucked you right in. So Bill Jenkins.
20 years.
Stand up, Bill. Raise your hand. So
You have been treasurer through 20 presidents.
Yes.
No wonder your hair is white. Just the treasurer alone would do that.
I keep saying, no one else wanted to do the job. No one else volunteered.
Yeah, but you have fun with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that matters. And then you all were in, your club flag was in a movie. What was it, One Summer? Is that what you said it was? So, you know, claim to fame, you know, here you all been in a movie that's going to be on Hallmark. So, okay. Well, I missed that.
Well, they'll repeat it. It's homework.
And, you know, for the enjoyment of the club, y'all are going to have socials. There's nothing greater than just getting together and not really having to talk about, well, what are we going to do with this project? What are we going to do with that project? We can all just sit down, have a fun evening, and then when we come back, our minds are clear and we can carry on. You're doing hybrid. That's very good because, you know, Rotary does not want anyone that is not comfortable coming face to face. And so we respect that. We want people to be comfortable in coming to a meeting. And if it takes Zoom or in person, whatever is comfortable for you is what we want you to do. Oh, you've had better guest speakers instead of just coming and asking for money. You know, it's hard to get a guest speaker. See, I'm not asking for any money, so you're lucky today. But, you know, and that is true. So many, you know, call your club, want to come speak. And then right at the end, it's like, and you know, in order to continue carrying on this project, we need some additional funds, and we would like for Rotary to help us out. You know, I can't tell you, the first day that I was district governor, I woke up that morning and I had 400 emails in my email. A third of them were from foreign countries asking me for money. And it's slacked off some, but let me tell you, they still ask you. They'll say, you know, here, DG Ellen, we would like for you to participate in this because we're going to be talking about our project, blah, 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 and we're hoping your club will join in with us. And I'm thinking, I won't be going to that one. The Chefs of Brunswick, what do you do there?
That was a big event. Darren, you want to talk about it?
No.
Hello? We had 20-something food vendors and also beverage vendors. I don't remember the number, so I know I'm wrong, but and they did sample size food. We were in the Brunswick Senior Center and we sold tickets, which gave them 5 tokens, and they could use those tokens to get food. And then at the event, they could buy more tokens. And that was we sold 1,000 tickets. The venue wasn't quite big enough, but we got through it, and we are planning on doing that again. And that was a great fundraiser for us.
Good.
Yeah.
Whenever you're going to have it, let me know, because I like to come where there's a lot of food.
Ellen, that was probably the stellar fundraiser for Area 4 that year, right? There was more money raised at that event than any other club at any other event, and that includes the Shalom Las Vegas night. Right? It was the event of the year. The chefs enjoyed it, the people enjoyed it, and the venue wasn't big enough simply because people were enjoying it so much they refused to leave.
Well, you know, South Brunswick Islands used to do that. And they did it. You weren't here then, were you?
No,
South Brunswick Island had something very similar to that. And they used the gymnasium at Brunswick Community College. So that was when the president was in Rotary. I don't know how much, but the new president's in Rotary. He's in the Rotary Club of South Brunswick. So, but that worked out really well because it was really big. So you might want to look into that. And another place is, oh, what is it? I'll think of the name and I'll send it to you. And your plans for membership are right in line, because attracting new members, if they see the good that you're doing, they are going to want to be a part of that. You know, who wouldn't want to be? They see the things that are accomplished, the things that you help people in the community with, and it's just great. $20 media contacts. Well, that's really good.
Yeah, I got those removed.
You did what?
Got those removed from the clinic.
Okay. On the news and in multiple papers and publications. You and Southport Evening are going to go in discussions about a joint sign on 211. Okay, and I'm glad to see this, that people do understand the difference between $100 sustaining and $125 for the per capita giving. And it's great to see all the things that you're doing. This is one of the best brag sheets, and you should all be thankful for everything that you've accomplished, because you've done an outstanding job, outstanding. So, the only thing I can tell you is that just always remember that we serve to change lives. And that was from President Shaker, and I think it's such an appropriate one, because we serve Rotary and we change lives by serving Rotary. So does anybody have any questions for me?
Does anybody want to tell her anything that I forgot?
Yes, ma'am.
We also helped tornado victims. We donated money and also helped get some of the vendors to donate items as well to help out families that were not insured. When that
Oh, yeah,
tornado
that's
hit
great.
in
That's
our
great. Yeah.
Shalom area, and we worked with some other nonprofits and county also to identify them and help.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Yes, ma'am.
We also partnered with Smart Start for little libraries. We
Yes.
put them in various places around the city. Every park in the city has a little library.
We did the little libraries. And so we invited a little Cub Scout troop to come and help us paint. So we're out in this yard with this tarp all over everywhere. And the adults are over here painting theirs, putting little doodads on it. And the 4 little Cub Scouts sat down on their piece of vinyl, and they had the box in front of them. So this one painted his color. They turned it. He painted this side this color, and this one over here painted that side that already been painted with their color. And it went all the way around till all 4 had painted. And I got to tell you, that was the most unique little library you've ever seen. And they asked us, they said, where are you going to put ours? And we said, we think at your school, because we want people to see what you did. So it was so funny with those little kids. They had more paint on them than they did on the box, but it still had 4 colors because it had gone all the way around to all 4, but some of them were different shaded because of the 3 or 4 coats of paint that were on them. But they had fun. Yes, sir.
One other thing, something Clayton's kind of shy to make a take about, which works closely with the American Red Cross and helps me with putting together blood drives as well as finding apartments at Dozier Hospital, or Dozier Hospital as well for the American Red Cross. So this club is very, very engaged in the local community and does a lot of good things.
King Mackerel tournament.
King Mackerel tournament, yeah, King Mackerel tournament, but $1.5 million.
How much money did that raise for the community?
I don't know that part yet. We still got paid for expenses, but we gave out 400,000.
And his wife is the star of Josh the Otter. Ellen.
I didn't.
Josh the Otter. Josh the Otter. His wife is Sarah Hilbert Lewis. Lewis Hilbert. Rachel, I'm sorry. I've got nieces Rachel and Sarah. I'm not kidding.
She's the better half.
Speaking about the American Red Cross, we did have a group. The South Brunswick High School students were holding a blood drive. And because the school got shut down because of COVID, they weren't allowed to go do it. So we had a group from here that we went over and did the blood drive for them.
Great.
And we let the money go to them, but we did go for them.
Great community service. Great. And, I can tell you this about the need for blood. It's extremely critical all over everywhere. Wilmington has a blood drive every week. And, I've talked to the Red Cross director there, and he said even having one every week and with the other people that are participating, it's still bringing up a shortfall. So But thank you all so much. I've had a great time, and I'll probably be back to see you.
Okay, we have one more thing for you to do, Ellen, and I was
Okay.
going to get you to tell some more things about Dave, but I want to tell you one thing. He made these holders for our table.
Did you see him do it?
Oh, all right, we have big bucks today, and Ellen is going to draw the winning ticket. Mix them up there, Ellen. We have $21 today.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. Last three numbers.
372.
Oh, 372, okay. And by the way, Leslie is in Memphis, and she'll probably come back dressed as Elvis. Oh, no, no, put your horse. Please.
All right, I was gonna close with, before we finish.
Yeah.
The things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth? Bear all concern. Will it be goodwill? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right, we're adjourned.
All right, we'll see you in the morning, Dave.
Thanks for coming. Good to see you again.